Thanks for watching my videos. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Today we'll be talking about City BBQ in Garner, North Carolina. Unlike the other restaurants I've visited so far, this is not a North Carolina original. It was actually a chain restaurant out of Ohio, of all places. Since I've lived here, though, I've always found them to be pretty consistent. I usually end up getting one of their platters, which I think is a selection of 3 or 4 meats. So I usually get something like a pulled pork with brisket, chicken, turkey, and a couple of sides. Like I said, they're usually very consistent and very good. I know the North Carolina definition of barbecue is typically only pulled pork or some variation of that, but I'm not a native from around here, so to me, barbecue can be a lot more than just pork. When we first pulled up to the restaurant, I parked on the side of the building because so you could see their smokers and their stacks of wood. This is not an old school smokehouse. These are nice new stainless steel smokers, and you could really smell the smoke. You could see the smoke coming out of the smokestack, so it seems to be the real deal. I was really craving ribs, and there are a couple of restaurants around here that have ribs, but I haven't really found a great place yet. Since City BBQ has been pretty consistent with their other meats, I figured I would give it a try. Since City BBQ is a chain, they have an app, they have reward points. The more you buy, the more you earn. And I believe this location is under new management. The previous management I really liked. They were always very generous with points. One time I had an issue with one of the platters, and they refunded my money. I mean, they really couldn't do enough to serve you well. So the first problem I had was, I believe it was the new manager working the register. Really wasn't very friendly at all. He was really actually kind of gruff. They've installed some plexiglass between the kitchen and the customers for health and safety reasons. And I think he had some trouble hearing me. On top of that, we both had to wear our masks, so we really weren't in sync. Like I said, he seemed a little bit gruff, but whatever. So on to the scoring. So remember that great smell of smoke I told you about? Well, even for all their smoke and for all their wood piles, I have to give the ribs a smoke flavor score of 1. There was the slightest hint of smoke, if any. Like I said, I saw the smokers were working hard, so I'll give them a 1, but really there wasn't much smoke to speak of. Sauce options, I gave them a 3. Before COVID, this was one of those barbecue restaurants that had 12 to 15 different types of sauces that customers can squeeze into little containers. After COVID, when you order at the register, you have to know what kind of sauce you want. Typically, I like a sweet sauce mixed in with the Carolina vinegar. I remember them also having mustard and something they called sagebrush, I believe. It was like a hot mesquite. So when you order, you kind of have to know the sauce that you want. They do seem to have a good variety, though, so I gave them a 3 on sauces. For sides, I gave them a 2. I usually get hush puppies, baked beans, and their Texas toast. This time around, they were out of hush puppies. They were out of Texas toast. The baked beans really had way too much sauce and very little bean. Really wasn't a fan of them. Ended up getting green beans. They were pretty good. And the cornbread pudding was very good. Overall taste, I had to give them pretty disappointing too. The ribs really were not very good. They were St. Louis cut, which means they were very fatty. They were very tender. They didn't really have much crust to speak of. There was sauce on them, but nothing was really caramelized. We ordered a rack of ribs and split it between 2 people and ended up leaving, I think, 4 bones that we ended up taking home. They were just so fatty, we actually felt a little sick by the time we left. I know it's not health food, but I don't recall ever feeling sick from ribs before. They seemed just excessively fatty, and they didn't have a great taste. And I gave them a 2 for service. Like I said, I believe it was the manager working the register. He wasn't very friendly. We really weren't clicking. The other people working behind the counter were nice enough. One thing I really don't like about City BBQ is when you're done eating, you have to clean your own table, which is fine, but you also have to scrape your plates into the garbage, so you end up getting your hands all dirty again. It's kind of like Panera in that respect. I would actually rather have disposable plates and plastic silverware, so I don't have to go through all that. I think that they lose a point or 2 there. Cleanliness, I'm happy to report, I think this was a 5. One thing I found strange is they did not have their health score clearly posted, and I always thought that was a North Carolina law. The place looked very clean, and according to Yelp, the score was 97, so anything 96 and above, I would call a 5. The ambiance inside, I gave them a 5. This is a really cool barbecue joint with some cool signs hanging up, different types of sauces. They play old Chicago blues. Definitely a nice ambiance inside. I gave them a 4 outside setting. It's part of a strip mall, but like I said, if you pull around the side, you can see the smokers and the wood stacks, and they keep it nice and clean. There's also some outside seating. Sometimes they have cornhole set up. So I think the outside setting is pretty nice. I gave them a 4 on that. So the total score for this visit was a 27 out of 45. If anybody has any recommendations for a great rib place in North Carolina, please post them in the comments below, and hopefully I can get out there and give them an honest review. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching my videos. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.